Hello everybody, this is Cooking with Jason. Today it's going to be beef ragu, which is a mixture of mince and beef. It's a 50-50 mix. All the listings for everything will be on the page as usual. How I've started off now is I've chopped very small a carrot, an onion and 2 celery sticks, and I fried them off in a tablespoon of olive oil. It takes about 5 minutes, so I've started beforehand. We'll get that's ready now. I've also, with the other half of the olive oil, I've rubbed it through with my fingers on the beef and pork mince. I'm going to add this to the pan. We're going to fry this out for about 5 minutes. And we'll get back after 5 minutes once it's browned off. Right, welcome back. The mince now has been frying for about 5 to 6 minutes. Make sure when you do it that you've got a big enough pan, because you don't want to boil it in water as it releases the juices, so make sure your pan's big enough. There's a little tip what you can do if you're making bolognese and such like. If you put your mince in an oven and cook it in an oven, it dries it out, so when it goes into the sauce it soaks up all the juices. It's a really good way of doing it, but for this recipe it's getting fried out. Now I'm going to add, this is balsamic vinegar. You normally use red wine, but what I've done is I've put balsamic vinegar and I've added sugar just to sweeten it up a bit to deglaze the pan. Add sugar in there. But red wine is what you would use, and I've always used that, so it doesn't make any difference. I just think it tastes better with the balsamic vinegar. We'll leave that on for about 2 minutes to get the juices up, get the scrapings off the bottom of the pan. This cook takes about 3 hours after everything's been done. Once it's all been done, it takes about 3 hours to simmer. Stir it occasionally, leave the lid on. It is a long cook, but it's worth it in the end. The next thing we're going to add to this is going to be milk. Now what the milk does is the enzymes in the milk helps break down the mince, so it makes it softer. So that's going to be the next thing I add in, and that will be left for about 2 minutes until the next step, which will be the passata, tomato puree and the stock. Now the stock, what I'm using there is beef stock. You can use chicken or vegetable. I'm using beef because it's more rich and it gives a bit extra flavour. So that's the only reason I'm using it, but you can use chicken, as I say, or vegetable. We'll add the milk now. Give that a stir. As you notice with this as well, there's no like herbs in it, so you've got no coriander, you've got no herbs whatsoever. So, and at the end what I'll do is I'll season it with salt and pepper at the end before it gets served, depending on what it tastes like once it's all been cooking out for about 3 hours. So normally you'd be putting basil in, or you could or whatever herb you want really, but as I say, in this you don't. So but now I'm going to add tomato puree in. We'll put that in. And into there. Passata. That's probably enough. I'll give that a stir around, and then I'll add the stock, and that's basically going to be it for 3 hours. So put this in now. I'll give that a stir. I'll put the lid on, and then in 3 hours time we'll get back. It's a bit different than bolognese because it's a ragu, so, and it will be more rich, a lot more rich. I can see by it now, the colour's changed straight away. Add the lid and let it simmer for 3 hours. Bit of bulldog. Right, welcome back. That's it, 3 hours it's been on for. As you can see, there is no water left on it. It's reduced right down. What I've done is I've got tagliatelle, fresh tagliatelle to go with it. I'll put a bit of this out. I've also made a ciabatta bread, garlic bread, which is, I'll show you in a second. I'll just put some of this onto here. We've eaten half of the garlic bread, by the way. That's why it doesn't look as though there's that much, because we couldn't wait. That's on the best. There we are. A little bit more on this plate. Right. Get rid of that stuff in there. Now we're thick. I've already put the salt and pepper in, so I've tasted it. I've put that in already. You put that in right at the end. A few little bits of parsley on the top. A bit of cracked black pepper. Just move that brewdog out the road there. And there's the garlic bread. Half left. Well, less than half now. It's got parsley, garlic and butter. And there it is. Beef ragu.